The roar you hear, 43 Winston Cup engines coming to life. The rumble you feel, the pounding heartbeat of 180,000 fans. The next step in the race to the championship is about to begin. And it's my pleasure to introduce the three men that will take you from the green flag in Daytona to the checkered flag in Atlanta. Alan Bestwick, Benny Parsons, and Wally Dallenbach.
Thank you, Bill. With Benny, the 1975 Daytona 500 winner, and Wally Dallenbach, who's run some 226 Winston Cup races, including just 3 weeks ago at Pocono. And Wally, when I think of tonight's race, the words intense and heart-pounding come to mind. How about it?
There's a couple more. Stressful. This is one of the most stressful races that we run all year. You've got the fear factor, fear of the big wreck. You have frustration of being stuck in that line that's not moving. And hopefully somewhere along the line, that 400 miles, you get to have a little bit of fun.
Benny, the drivers all day long have been talking about the big wreck, capital B, capital W. What is the big wreck?
Anytime you come to Daytona Talladega and these cars run in such huge packs, we'll see 43 cars run together. And when that happens, if something happens in front of you, you cannot avoid. Here, Tony Stewart gets tagged by Ward Burton, up on top of Robbie Gordon. These guys behind, down through the grass, are trying to avoid it, but you simply can't. You're running too fast. These cars are too close together. That's the big wreck. You see them all there together. It's liable to happen at any time, Alan.
19 cars taken out in that one that happened with just 27 laps to go in the Daytona 500 in February. And the closer we get to the end of the race, the more likely a possibility that big wreck is. The sights, the sounds, the rush of adrenaline that is NASCAR at Daytona is coming up next. The starting lineup in green flag for the 43rd Pepsi 400 coming up on NBC. Some 180,000 fans are packed into the Daytona International Speedway waiting for the start of the 43rd Pepsi 400. Field rolling off onto the track for a couple of pace laps before the green flag. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Bud Pole Award, given qualifier at each NASCAR Winston Cup race. This week it was Sterling Marlin who grabbed his 11th pole position. 9 drivers have won Bud Pole Awards in 15 tries this season. They'll be in the Bud Shootout in 2002. Since 1979, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $7 million as title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program. 43 drivers are getting ready to go at it in the Pepsi 400. Why don't we take a look at the Walmart starting grid? Sterling Marlin, his 11th pole position, leading a Dodge sweep of the top 4 spots. Ward Burton was running strong in the Daytona 500 until he got taken out in a wreck late in the race.
Inside row 3, Jeff Gordon, the leader of the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings. He's won the Pepsi 400 twice. On the inside of row 7, John Andretti, the Pepsi 400 winner in 1998.
Mark Martin is one of the 5 drivers who can earn $1 million bonus with the win tonight. Kevin Harvick, first start for RCR at Daytona.
Jeff Purvis, great qualifying run in only his 2nd Winston Cup start of the season. He's in row 6. Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes from 13th. He finished 2nd here in February in the 500. He'll be the sentimental favorite to win. And 60-year-old Dave Marcus makes his 63rd Daytona start tonight.
On the outside of row 9, Bill Elliott says his team gave up speed in qualifying for comfort in the race and trying to win the race. Dale Jarrett won this race 2 years ago. He's 2nd in the championship to Jeff Gordon.
Ricky Rudd, one of the hottest drivers on the circuit right now. He makes his 50th Daytona start tonight, but he's never won here. Daytona 500 winner Michael starts 22nd.
Rusty Wallace back in row number 12 along with Mike Skinner. The 13th row, it's Rockingham winner Steve Park. He has to come from deep in the field along with the 94 Pepsi 400 winner Jimmy Spencer of Pennsylvania. Spencer starting back in row 14.
And on the inside of row 15 is Terry Labonte. He's 2-time series championship. He was fast in last night's practice. He'll need to be from that spot. Jeff Burton, the defending winner of this race.
Both the Gibbs racing cars will start way back. Bobby Labonte, 33rd, and Tony Stewart in 36th.
Now the drivers who got provisional spots to get into the field weren't quick enough to qualify on time. Johnny Benson led this race late last year. He and his teammate Ken Schrader try to draft through the traffic together from row 19 and row 20. And we look at the rest of those who got in on their points. Mike Wallace back behind the wheel of Jim Smith's Ford Taurus. And Brett Bodine got the final starting spot. He was a nervous man pacing around at the end of qualifying here yesterday. Look at those who failed to qualify. Ron Hornaday and A.J. Foyt's car not here. Buckshot Jones ran really strong in practice, just didn't go when he needed it to in qualifying. He's among the 5 who will watch this race instead of being in it. Track description of the Daytona International Speedway. See that lake you're looking at behind the graphic? All the dirt that used to be where the water is now was used to make the 31-degree banking of this racetrack that is some 4 stories tall from bottom to top, that these race cars rocket around at some 190 miles an hour.
And there you can see that 31 degrees as these cars come through there.
Now the race analysis, and the key number in this one will be pit window.
50 to 55 laps for fuel. Some guys tell me they can only run 50 laps. If they can't do that, they have to stop 3 times. The guys that can run 53 laps can make this race on 2 stops if it should go green flag all the way.
Down to pit road, here's Bill Weber.
Thank you, Alan. This track is 2.5 miles long, and there will be plenty of wild action out there on the big track. But look at the pit stalls on pit road. They're a little over 15 feet wide and just over 29 feet long, and there will be plenty of wild action there as well. Who has the best pit stall? Well, pit stalls are selected in the qualifying order, so the argument would be that Sterling Marlin has the best pit stall. You want easy in, easy out. He's got both, and you have to watch the timing line so you don't get a speeding penalty. The checkered flag falls on the track, but here at Daytona, the race could be won on pit road. Here's Dave Burns.
Bill, we haven't talked yet about the defending race champion, Jeff Burton. Remember, he and his Roush stablemates have all gotten increased horsepower from their R&D department since the Texas race this year. They will be looking strong. And Mark Martin and Jeff Burton are also in the No Bull 5 program. So talk about incentive, an extra $1 million for those two. Let's go to Marty.
Dave, last Friday, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in effect became the man of the Earnhardt family when he walked his sister Kelly down the aisle for her wedding, a job that was originally scheduled for his father. Now at the track that claimed his father's life, Dale Jr. looks to assume another role, becoming the man of the Winston Cup Series at Daytona. He has a fast car, just enough experience, and tonight, most likely, a little help from above. Can Dale Jr. dominate Daytona like dear old dad used to? Only time will tell, but tonight, he might get a good start. To Matt Yoakum.
Marty Ward Burton will start the 22 car from the 2nd position. He's racing for restrictor plate redemption. He led the most laps in the season opening Daytona 500, only to be crashed out while leading at Talladega. He lost the lead and the race when he overshot his pit. He says he feels like he's due. What better way to get your first Winston Cup restrictor plate win than here at Daytona? His best finished 7th 3 times. That's in the last 3 Pepsi 400s. He feels like tonight he's due, and this could be his best shot ever. Alan?
About a half a lap from the start of the Pepsi 400. Those 9 Dodges in the field are heavily concentrated toward the front of the pack. Dodge has not won here at Daytona since 1977. Is tonight the night, Benny?
I think it could be. I really believe it will be, because Sterling Marlin, Ward Burton, 2 really fast cars in the Daytona 500. And I don't see why. I haven't seen anything that tells me they've slowed down any.
One of my favorite points of these night races here at Daytona, the flashbulbs just exploding from the grandstand on this last pace lap. Fans all taking their memento pictures. And for these drivers, Wally, their last moment of peace and quiet. Yeah. It's about to get very tense.
Yeah, the Hornet's Nest is supposed to open up here. Just a second. It's going to be great.
Your thoughts? You're in turn 3. You're inside the race car. They're what?
Well, you know, it depends on where you're at. Really, I'd rather be on the outside here, in the outside lane, only because when you come out of turn 2, everybody's going to start diving down to the bottom, so you have to protect your line. So hopefully I'm in the top line, and I'm just going to ride, hopefully get through the next couple laps, get things sorted out.
You see so many cars passed on the inside here at Daytona and at Talladega. A lot of these teams have installed little mirrors, little spot mirrors on the roll bar where the driver can look out a rear view mirror beside the car and see if someone is beside him.
20 straight weeks of racing to decide the NASCAR Winston Cup Series champion begin now. The crowd is on its feet. The 43rd Pepsi 400 goes green on NBC. halfway through the field off the second corner.
Mike Skinner saw an opening in the middle and dove 3 wide, trying to pick up some spots.
The yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack is the out-of-bounds line. Think of it like the sideline on a football field. The drivers were told in their pre-race meeting, go below that, you're going to be penalized by NASCAR.
And that's really what got us in trouble a lot in past before they made that rule. Because what would happen is guys would go below that line. Then when we got to turn 3, you have to get back up on the racetrack. And if there was 3 or 4 abreast there was no room.
Ward Burton leads lap 1. Jeff Gordon squeezing underneath Kevin Harvick. Harvick in the white car. On board with Harvick.
Joe Nemechek is in the 33 car. His first race back since Richmond in May. He crashed practicing his Busch car at Dover. And has been trying to heal all this time.
Casey Atwood in the 19, the young 20-year-old from Nashville, being passed by Sterling Marlin for second.
Not so fast.
Our colleagues at Fox began a tradition of saluting the memory of Dale Earnhardt with a silent lap 3. We feel it appropriate, and we're proud to carry that tradition on. Sterling Marlin to the lead. 3 deep for 6th spot on down as Ward Burton gets shuffled back to 5th. Andy Houston, the rookie, going for the lead on the outside.
Has some drafting help with Joe Nemechek and put Houston in front.
Dave Burns.
Alan, last night in final practice, they made some changes to the 96 car. Andy said the changes they made, a spring in the right rear and also a sway bar change, helped that car tremendously. And even though he's lost the lead now, expect Andy Houston to handle a very comfortable race car up front all night long.
Marlin back to the point. That's Ward Burton right behind him as you look out the back bumper of the Marlin car. Front 6 now single file, then they're 2 and 3 deep from there on back.
That is the most important thing, a comfortable race car for this race. You know, this track probably has quite a bit less grip than it had in February. I think once the tires get a lot of heat, fuel burns off, this car's going to get to be a little bit more of a handful than right now.
Stacy Compton in the 92 racing Joe Nemechek for 3rd spot.
I can't believe these guys can do this. Lap after lap after lap, side by side, 3 wide.
My fists are all clenched together up here. I can't imagine what it's like in the race car. Dodge, 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 front 3. Then the Chevrolets of Kevin Harvick and Joe Nemechek. Also Mike Skinner in there in a Chevy.
And Mike Skinner started 23rd in that number 31.
Here comes Ricky Rudd. And Michael Waltrip, the Daytona 500 winner in the 15 car. Michael started back in 22nd spot. It's up to 8th, racing for 7th and 6th. Jeff Gordon.
Let's see if he has to back off in the corner. Listen to his engine. Hasn't yet. And that's what he was working on last night. He told us in coverage of the final practice, he was working on being able to run around the racetrack wide open, never having to crack the throttle.
Waltrip in the 15, Rudd in the 28, Gordon in the 24, trying to advance the inside line by Skinner. That'd be for 5th position. And Todd Bodine getting into the mix, the light blue car, the outside lane, the 66 machine.
Started in 31st position.
We'll see that all night long. Cars coming from the back to the front, shuffling back to the back, coming back to the front. It's one of the exciting things about this kind of racing.
Yeah, exciting and sometimes very frustrating, because just when you get up there and you go, all right, I'm going to get with the lead guys, we're going to get in line and we're going to take off, and all of a sudden they split you and you go right to the back. And it's like that all night long.
Leader Sterling Marlin, the silver car. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, the Joe Gibbs cars, both started deep in the field. They're both still running deep in the field. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
And Alan, that should be no surprise. I stood with Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte right before the race. They had a little mini meeting. They said, listen, we're going to drop straight to the back. We're just going to ride there. In fact, they don't want to ride at the back of the pack. They want to ride beyond the back of the pack. They want to be away from the main pack to avoid what they think is going to be a big wreck this evening. Now, they've tried this strategy before, and every time they've tried it, it has backfired. They're hoping it won't backfire tonight. To Matt Yoakum.
Marty, Sterling Marlin spotter Lauren Ranier, son of the late Daytona 500 winning car owner Harry Ranier, told Sterling Marlin, drop back, you're getting too far out, try to stay more with the group, you're getting too far out, you're going to give them too much good air to make a run on you. He acknowledged that, said 10-4, and he hit the brakes, slowly backing up to let the 22 suck up on his bumper. To Bill.
Well, Dale Jarrett started this race in 19th position. He loves coming to Daytona. He actually likes racing here because he's had so much success. But despite starting 19th, not much success so far tonight. He's reported that his car's a little loose. It's also running hot in traffic. Water temperature 235. Last time by, 32nd from his 19th starting spot.
Kevin Harvick just went all the way to scrape the paint off the outside wall to take the lead from Sterling Marlin.
Isn't it wonderful to watch these young, brave drivers driving around Daytona and Talladega?
And listen to the roar of the fans. This was Dale Earnhardt's car.
And here comes Dale Earnhardt's car. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, Michael Waltrip on the inside, trying to take that lead away from Kevin Harvick.
Here's Waltrip, Harvick to block.
See, now what Kevin just did took him out of the line, and he's going to lose a lot of positions unless he can squeeze back in line right there.
Marlin to the lead, Andy Houston to second, the McDonald's car there. Now Waltrip in third, Todd Bodine goes to fourth, and they're 3 deep from fifth on back.
Oh man, oh man.
We had 49 lead changes in the Daytona 500. We've already had 4, and we're just in the opening laps of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. 1,460 laps are now complete in the 43rd running of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Sterling Marlin is the leader. Michael Waltrip is second. Andy Houston is third. Todd Bodine fourth. And now they're mixing it up from back, 6th position on back. You've got Ricky Craven in 5th, Mike Skinner in 6th, and now this race for 7th between Ward Burton in the 22 and Kevin Harvick in the 29.
And look at that, moving up. Mike Wallace started 42nd in that 7 car. He is up to the 10th position, has gained 32 spots.
And Mike's kind of fighting for his job here this weekend.
This might be his last ride in that 7 car. But again, he ran just like this in the Daytona 500. Ran terrific here in Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega, he started dead last in the field, 43rd, finished 9th. Let's get more on Mike Wallace's race so far from Dave Burns.
Well, and Alan Benny's right. He started 27th here in February and finished 6th. Now, I just talked with Jim Long, his crew chief, who said we knew the car was going to be good. We didn't expect it to be quite this good. I talked with car owner Jimmy Smith, and he said, hey, I spent $1 million trying to get this thing to go fast by itself. It wouldn't. We had to take a provisional, but boy, it sure goes in a pack of cars.
Back through Mike Wallace in 10th now, sorting out single file.
I mean, you know, especially Mike's had to sit and watch somebody else drive his race car for the last couple of years. That's like seeing your wife out with somebody else. I mean, that is a terrible feeling, watching your race car go around the racetrack without you in it.
3 deep, that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. left of your screen, Kevin Harvick in the middle, Ricky Rudd down on the inside of the racetrack. And they're racing for 9th, 10th, and 11th spots. Now he lifted there.
Yes, he did.
Pit road, Bill Weber.
Just talked to Kevin Hamlin, the crew chief for Kevin Harvick. I asked him if they had any damage to the race car. He says he doesn't believe so. He's not certain because Kevin is not talking to them. Remember, he is a rookie. This is his first start in a Winston Cup race at Daytona. What Kevin thinks is that Kevin Harvick is focusing on trying to learn where to put the race car on the racetrack. Marty?
Well, Bill, when Dale Jr. was just in that 3-wide pack, his spotter Ty Norris said either get in front of them or let off and let Harvick go. He wants to get to the front. We don't need to be on the outside being 3 wide. Let's take it easy. We've got a good car that can win the race. Be patient. It's early.
Telling a race driver to be patient behind the wheel of his car is an easy thing to do. It's a hard thing to make happen.
All right, that yellow line as we go down the backstretch, that is out of bounds, just like Alan told you at the very beginning. And this is going to be the toughest spot on the racetrack to avoid getting below that yellow line. Before the race is over, someone will be penalized for dipping down below that yellow line on the backstretch.
Let's go back and look at that instance that Marty was reporting on a minute ago when Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran up on Kevin Harvick.
He's pushing him. That's called a bump draft. You bump them a little bit and get them moving. And believe it or not, the cars run a little faster, bumping at 190 miles per hour.
Now you could hear the engine note pick up a little bit as he gained a little speed when Earnhardt Jr. hit him, and then drop off a little bit when Jr. pulled out from behind him. Mike Skinner in the 31, looking inside of Todd Bodine. Had a report a little earlier that Jeff Purvis's car was maybe overheating some. 51 machine is back to 24th spot now. He started in 11th. This is the race for 5th between Skinner and Todd Bodine. You see the front 4 out ahead of them. Third place, side by side. Ward Burton up top, Andy Houston down low.
Now that to me, if you had about 5 or 6 veterans up front, they would stay in line and try to break away from the rest of the pack. But we got some guys up there that are rookies and not familiar with it. They want to lead, and that's keeping that pack behind them up close to the leaders.
I love it. I love to watch these guys pass each other.
20 laps complete of 160 in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Sterling Marlin and Michael Waltrip hold the top 2 spots. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. We come back to Daytona in the Pepsi 400 as Michael Waltrip makes a bid for the lead on Sterling Marlin.
With help from Mike Skinner. Skinner pulled up behind that Chevrolet, and to the front they went. And look at Sterling Marlin. They're all on the inside. He's lost 2, 3, 4, 5 spots.
Sterling Marlin has led the last 13 laps of the race. I think everybody's got the idea he's got a very strong car.
He's waving his arm.
He's waving his arm.
Waving his hand inside the car. He's got something wrong.
Man, he can get run up.
That one right behind you.
His teammate Jason left on the 0-1 car.
pit road.
Could it be that his car is just not right? Could it be that it's pushing or loose or just not right, and he's decided to go the back and ride till they can make a pit stop and adjust them?
I mean, in one lap, I mean, you know, he's leading the thing, and then all of a sudden in one lap.
Matt Yoakum, what's wrong with Sterling's car?
Alan, talking to Lee McCall, Sterling Marlin's crew chief, he told me that Sterling's complaint is the car is very loose. He's going to try to drop back like a number of the other competitors and just ride in the back until the first round of pit stops, somewhere along lap 52 to 55 to work on this race car. No need to chance anything right now because they have a very stout piece.
There you have it, Benny.
There you have it.
Right again.
And that's smart racing. That's just smart. We're barely 50 miles into not even 50 miles, into a 400-mile race. Now, off of turn number 2, we're going to show you our NBC Speed Trap. Actual live real-time speeds as the cars rocket off this corner at Daytona. Steve Park, fastest. New leader.
Kevin Harvick takes up Richard Childress Chevrolet to the top spot. And check out the battle for second spot as Harvick looks back at Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip. The 8 and the 15, the two cars that battle for the victory in the Daytona 500.
Ricky Rudd, first Ford in the order, in the 28. Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes for the lead. The fans all jump to their feet.
Still down there. Still there.
Out front,
Clear. All clear.
Earnhardt Jr. leads at Daytona.
You and the 49, and they're 2 by 2, about 10 deep behind you.
Check out those fans. They are absolutely loving this as Earnhardt goes to the front.
We've talked all throughout the week what the young man's state of mind must be coming back here. And we've talked about people going about business as usual. Benny, Dale Jr.'s put on the facade of business as usual, but I've detected through our interviews with him that that's not a facade. It has been business as usual.
But I can also tell by the interviews, and I talked to Tony Uri Sr., his team manager, this young man, Alan, wants this race as badly as he's ever won anything in his life. He wants this one today. Can you imagine what victory? Oh, no, I can't even think about it. But we've got a long ways to go. Only 28 laps into this thing.
There's Tony Uri.
And Tony's reply to me was, I just hope he doesn't want it too much.
Jeff Burton with a run up the outside. He started back in 30th spot. He's running 6th.
And there's Mike Wallace hanging on that trio of Chevrolets, a 7 car in 4th spot. That'd be hard to fire your driver if he finished 4th, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty difficult.
There's Burton in the 99. Andy Houston right behind him. Then you've got Matt Kenseth starting to move up.
And Michael Waltrip, who was leading the race just a few laps ago, has now moved back to the 7th, 8th position.
There's Jeff Burton, said a minute ago. Started back in 30th position. He's up in 5th now.
And that's another driver that told me today before the race, that's what he worked on last night in final practice. Get in the car where he would handle, where he could drive through the corners without backing off the accelerator. Jeff, it looks like it's working pretty good so far.
The orange dot on the windshield designed to signify the 5 drivers who are running for the extra $1 million bonus, the Winston Noble 5 bonus. They were the top 5 finishers in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Memorial Weekend. If one of those drivers wins the race tonight, they get a $1 million bonus from the series sponsor, plus a fan in the consumer contest also gets $1 million. Marty Snyder has more on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s race.
And Alan, so far, he's been very calm on the radio. The only thing that he has said at Ty Norris's request, his spotter, is that the oil is at 230, the water's at 190. Very patient right now. He is leading the race. Now, the one thing that has started down here is pit strategy. Danny Lawrence, the engine builder for what used to be Dale Earnhardt's team, now Kevin Harvick's team, came down here. They're trying to plan when they're going to pit. The problem for Dale Jr.'s team is that they can only go about 50 laps on this first run. Most of the other teams can go about 55 laps on this first run. So Dale Jr. will probably come down pit road with Bobby Hamilton's team, even though Bobby's running way in the back of the pack because they are pitted right beside each other. Back up to Allen.
Bobby Hamilton running in 35th position after 31 of 160 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. NASCAR on NBC comes your way from Daytona International Speedway with live coverage of the Pepsi 400. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is out in front, 7 lead changes already in the opening 35 laps of this race.
I think we're going to see a lot of spinning wrenches on these Dodges when they come in, Benny. I think a lot of the cars are loose. Watching the last practice last night, I saw a lot of loose race cars, but it seems like the Dodges are suffering the most right now.
Right now, the best Dodge is in 12th position. Oh, no, let's go back to about the 13th position. John Andretti in the Hamburger Helper Dodge, the best Dodge. And remember, the first 4 qualifiers were Dodges.
And in fact, 5 of the top 10 were Dodges. And now, as you said, Benny, Andretti in 13th is the best. Couple of Dodges riding around at the back of the field. Bill Elliott is in 43rd. He's last in the order. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And down here in Ward Burton's pit, I spoke with crew chief Tommy Baldwin Jr. He says the car is just very loose in the center of the corner. They're going to adjust this race car somewhere around lap 51 with air pressure. He said they've been fighting loose all during happy hour. They went into the race trying to adjust on that. Also, Lee McCall says his car is still very loose. Both cars have dropped outside of the top 19. Sterling just now moved up to 18, but both cars fighting loose conditions early on.
And you saw the picture of Bill Elliott. There's Casey Atwood with the green bumper, and look how far back to his team car, Elliott.
I mean, Elliott is in a lot of trouble.
If I'm loose here, I want you to put some bite in the car. I don't know if tire pressure is going to be enough, but especially, you know, in traffic like you are with these cars, I think I'd be looking for some bite.
Casey Atwood started 4th. He's right in front of Bill Elliott in 42nd. Compton started 3rd. He's in 37th. And Ward back in 33rd. We can account for the front 2 rows.
But Jeff Burton had moved up, well up into the field from 30th spot. Now he's getting shuffled. He's just dropped 6 positions in that last lap, back to 12th spot.
There and had to get out of the throttle.
There's another car that's loose.
We're gonna put a pound in the right rear. Looking inside, just one of them. Coming hard though.
Better take a pound out of the right rear, Frankie. He's loose. When you add air pressure to these tires or reduce air pressure, you make that tire, by putting more air pressure in it, you make the tire stronger, and that changes the chassis. If you take air pressure out of the tire, you make that tire weaker, and therefore making the car a little bit tighter, change the chassis as well.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to parade around in front of the field. Kevin Harvick, Mike Skinner run right behind him. We're at 39 laps in. Pit stops coming up shortly. Mike Skinner going for 3rd inside of Mike Wallace. Skinner in the 31, Wallace in the 7. That's Matt Kenseth riding the top side right behind him.
I talked to Mike after practice, and after I said, man, was the beginning of practice, last practice last night, was your car that loose? He said, yeah, it was. They made some adjustments right there before the end of practice, and he was really happy with the car. He's in the wrong line right now, though.
There is no line there.
And not even a choice of his own.
Got to have somebody behind you helping you push through the air, or you're going to lose a lot of position. Skinner was racing for third a minute ago.
He finally has some help. Someone pulls up behind him. That's Kenny Schrader in the 36 car.
He's racing for 8th now, Skinner is. Schrader, he started back in 39th position.
Out for second.
Oh, man, that's threading it right there, buddy.
Mike Wallace squeezing in front of Harvick, now jumping in line behind Kenseth and in front of Kurt Busch. Harvick now is in the wrong spot on the racetrack.
Mark Martin going by. Onboard camera with Mark. This is one of his better runs at Daytona in a good while.
3 wide in front of him.
You know, Mark's one of those guys, when I run here, it seems like I always try to run with the guys I'm comfortable with running, that you know you can just get on their bumper and they're going to take it to the front. And I always look for guys like Mark, Ricky Rudd, Sterling. These guys are the guys you can count on when you come to restrictor plate races. Terry Labonte, another one. You know you can really trust these guys on getting you through the field.
It's Jeff Gordon on the outside of that 3 wide.
This is not where you want to be, where the 7 car is if you're loose right now. You're in the middle, and you had Skinner right on your tail. And boy, it is tough getting through the corners if you're loose like that because you've got nowhere to go.
Now we're at lap 45. They'll complete 46 when they come around next time, about lap 50. With no caution flag between here and there, we'll start to see drivers dropping onto pit road for important green flag stops. An update on Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader's strategy at this point, from Marty.
Well, again, Alan, they do not have as good a fuel mileage as most other teams do, so they will pit on lap 50 along with Bobby Hamilton and Joe Nemechek. That has been worked out. Although Hamilton's at the back of the pack, they do need a drafting partner, so they are going to come a little bit early. Junior's biggest problem right now is that when he goes full throttle, he starts to pull away from everybody. And we heard Matt Yoakum earlier say that when you pull away from everybody, that allows them to get a run on you. So Junior's not even full throttle right now when he's leading the pack. Back upstairs to Alan.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the Pepsi 400. Matt Kenseth, Todd Bodine, Mark Martin, and John Andretti. Also up in that fight for the top spot. Pit stops when we come back. We're already past the 1/4 point of the Pepsi 400. We're at 49 laps out of 160, getting ready for a round of pit stops.
Yeah, right now I'm listening to my crew saying, okay, we're going to pit in 4, pit in 5. My chief mechanic is talking to the spotter. Hey, ask so-and-so when he's coming, because we all want to come in together, at least with the group you're running with.
Those are the spotters up on the roof watching their car and trying to help their driver with trouble ahead of him on the racetrack. And assorted other functions.
And assorted other functions, as a matter of fact, trying to keep them out of trouble, letting them know when they can come off the corner and drift back up into the groove.
Here's
here
the leader,
Junior.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. ducks for pit road. The stop will come at lap 50.
Wow. Somebody's way hard on the brakes coming in there.
Jeff Purvis was the one who lit up the brakes.
He will need new tires after that.
Marty Snyder will cover Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit stop for us.
And Dale Jr. comes down pit road. He is one of only 3 drivers to finish top 10 in both of the restrictor plate races so far this year. He says the car is just a hair tight. He originally wanted no adjustments, but then he called for a last-second adjustment, 1/4 pound out of the right rear. That's a very small adjustment. He wants to be a little looser off the turn. Dale Jr. back out on the track. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Big Ed Watkins, the jack man for Casey Atwood, drops the jack. He's down and away. Air pressure. He was very loose. His teammate, Bill Elliott's also in. He's also complaining about a loose condition, as is the Dodge in the 92 of Stacy Compton.
Compton very slow coming to pit road. He was well off the gas in turn 3, so perhaps a further problem there. Here's Johnny Benson on the pit lane. Jeremy Mayfield's in. Rick Mast is in. Ken Schrader's been in.
I'll tell you what, and these guys that strategy-wise, we're in the back, Benny. I think that's going to hurt them because they're going to come out and they're going to lose that lead draft.
Bill Weber.
Stacy Compton on pit road. His car's been all over the track, loose and tight. They had to get an adjustment to try and fix the handle, but the biggest thing here is that he ran out of fuel on the track. Now he's sitting here. They're going to have to push him to get him started. Compton out of fuel on pit road.
Another whole charge coming off of turn 4, down toward the pit lane. Compton gets it running.
What they were squirting in the air cleaner, in the air intake, was ether, something that's kind of like gas. They're spraying in there in aerosol form. They can spray in there.
Dave Burns.
Mike Wallace is in now. They don't make any chassis adjustments, just 4 tires and fuel for Wallace. He said the car is pretty good. The only thing they've told him is to keep the radiator fan on when you're behind other cars. They're going to pull a tearaway off the windshield, and Wallace is out of here. Let's go to pit.
Ricky Rudd getting 4 tires and fuel. Originally wanted to pit with the 29, but couldn't do that because the 29 was ahead of them on the track, behind them on pit road. They would have had to work their way around them.
Ricky Craven had trouble getting to his pit stall. He overshot it.
Yep, big time.
And here comes all the other. Oh, Todd Bodine almost ran in the back of the 17 of Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Mike Skinner, Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett is in, Ward Burton's in the Gibbs cars, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. We go to Matt Yoakum.
Mark Martin already comes to a stop in his pit box. He was complaining of a tight condition. They made an air pressure adjustment in the right front, an air pressure adjustment in the right rear. Front tire changer Robert Benfield has kidney stones. He's okay, but they've got Todd Ziegler standing by. The left side's come out. Let's go to Bill Weber.
4 tires and fuel. Kevin Harvick's first pit stop in a Winston Cup car in a race at Daytona.
Watch for the traffic to close quickly on the outside. Those are the cars that pitted a lap ago or 2 laps ago. Looks like Ricky Rudd's going to come out with the lead.
Harvick still trying to get his car up to speed.
Check that. It looks like Steve Park will get away from pit road first. Well, now let's just find out. They're all still trying to get up to speed.
I think maybe Matt Kenseth might be the leader of this little event.
There we go. Kenseth leads, Kurt Busch second, Todd Bodine third, Mike Skinner fourth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. fifth, then Rudd, Park, Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, and Jeff Gordon, your top 10.
And look at Junior go by Kenseth. What in the world was that all about? And Kenseth was leading the last time by, so something is wrong with the 17 car.
Outside. Back to the junior line.
Rusty Wallace behind Kenseth. Puts Kurt Busch in the lead, but maybe not for long. Todd Bodine up and around.
Boy, they all ganged up on the rookie, didn't they?
So green flag pit stops have been completed. And Todd Bodine is now the leader of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. New leader in the Pepsi 400. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has reestablished himself out in front. It's Mike Skinner second, Ricky Rudd third, Steve Park fourth, and now Todd Bodine tries to take fifth away from Kurt Busch. Here's our Coors pit summary.
Well, Earnhardt Jr. didn't come out of the pits first, but he now is first. He came out and quickly passed some cars.
Kenseth was the leader off the pit stop, but he's been very rapidly shuffled back tonight. We'll try and get a report from pit road on what happened to him there. You see Kevin Harvick dropped to 16th. We watched him have a lot of trouble getting up to full speed.
Yeah, that's tough here. It's tough that, you know, when you come in for a pit stop, it's tough not to spin your tires and get a good run off a pit lane.
Kurt Busch Rookie from Las Vegas in the 97 car, one of Jack Roush's entries in the race.
Skinner's looking for the lead if he can get some help. And it looks like that Ricky Rudd is going to give him some help, but he can't go by. Look how strong that A car is tonight. He pulled out with help and didn't go by.
Yeah, but you know, we saw Sterling like that earlier. But see if those adjustments help.
Right now, our pole sitter Sterling Marlin is back in 24th position, but he's only 1.8 seconds behind the leader.
We talked about Ricky Craven overshooting his pit when he came onto pit road a moment ago. Let's go back and take a look. That's Craven in the orange 32 car.
Well, he had a little help by the looks of it.
He's already passed it, though.
The 33 car got in the back of it. And basically, unless they get a yellow, that whole deal right there, you completely lost the draft, and now all you're hoping is that you'll get a caution so you can catch back up.
We have been caution-free so far. We're at 60 laps complete. That's 150 miles. Rusty Wallace racing Kurt Busch. That'll be for 5th spot. Wallace in the 2. Check some speeds at the line, see who's fastest at the moment.
They're all about the same speed, but Earnhardt Jr. was in fact the quickest.
It's kind of unusual here at Daytona in the draft for the guy out in front of the draft to be the fastest. I know that sounds awkward, but it is unusual. Usually the guys getting the tow from that car breaking the air will be a little bit faster. Let's go to pit road.
Just update you guys on the 17 car. No problems for them, BP. In fact, their pit stop was so good, they pulled off a pit road so fast, by the time they got their speed built up, Matt looked in his rearview mirror and the whole field was building up speed behind him. He didn't have a drafting partner when he got out there, and he got freight trained. The car is very good. It was a little loose. They made an air pressure adjustment. Robbie Reiser says his car and his driver are both strong.
Well, I appreciate that, Bill. I was really concerned that something was wrong, but that's what we talked about. The spotters telling these drivers when they get a big lead to paddle, to back off a little bit and let that second place car catch them. Don't let them get a run on you.
Of the 43 who started the race, 42 are on the lead lap. Stacy Compton running out of fuel, cost him a lap to the race leader. It's Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the 43rd running of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. We're 65 laps complete of 160 that make up the distance. So far, 11 lead changes in this race. I think we've clearly established that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has the strongest car. In the beginning, it looked like Sterling Marlin, but it's definitely Dale Jr. at this stage of the race.
There's no doubt, unless something happens on the next pit stop to make one of these other cars a lot faster, they're going to have a lot of trouble beating Jr. tonight. But remember, he has got to stop twice. I don't know how much fuel he had left over when he made that pit stop, but 50 and 50 and 50 is 150 is 10 laps short. What about it, Marty?
Well, Benny, you're exactly right. They can go a little bit further, but it's going to be close. Jeff Clark is the engine tuner for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He went back and calculated. He said on the next stop they can probably go about 54 laps. That's going to put them close to the finish, though.
And all of that discussion if we go to the finish without a caution flag.
Well, that's right, and these guys are driving pretty decently tonight, so maybe there will not be a caution flag. But 50 and 54 is 104. That leaves 56.
We talked earlier, the closer you get to the finish, the higher the probability of somebody making a mistake pressing hard.
Well, that's right.
We'll see. Let's drop back in traffic a little bit to Dave Marcus, running in 40th position, the 71 car, 60 years old, originally from Wisconsin. David making tonight his 880th NASCAR Winston Cup start, second all-time only to Richard Petty. Dave is one of the icons of the sport. He is the blue-collar racer. He owns his own team. He works on his own cars. You call his race shop, he'll answer the phone. And if he doesn't answer the phone, they'll have to go get him out from one of the race cars to come talk to you. He pays all the bills. He wears wingtip shoes when he drives. And the reason we bring this up is, first of all, because he's a terrific story that he made the race. Second of all, he's getting ready to close his NASCAR Winston Cup career. He'll run 5 more events after tonight this year, then attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500 in February, and then call it a career. A good and long career.
And then look for a young man to jump in that car and become his driver. He wants to continue his racing team.
It's Bob Marcus, his crew chief. Small operation, fraction of the funding, fraction of the people that these other teams operate with, but you know one thing about Dave Marcus, he will always brace you as hard as he can. On board, Dale Jarrett, running in 12th.
Tell you what, Kurt Busch was doing some rim riding around that corner in 3 and 4, right up against that outside retaining wall.
Kurt Busch, the 22-year-old from Las Vegas, Nevada. In his 24th Winston Cup Series race and his second ever here at Daytona.
And normally you're up there because you're loose. You're using all the racetrack to keep that car from the rear end from jumping out on you. So normally guys running up there like that, just trying to save it every lap.
There's Jeff Gordon running behind Michael Waltrip.
I think he chose the wrong line. He chose to try to hook up with Michael Waltrip in the 15 car and worked her way to the front, but looks like he might be losing some spots. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Benny, the 4-time Daytona winner, Jeff Gordon, is currently riding in the 8th position. When he made his pit stop on lap 52, he was complaining his car was loose in and tied off. 3/4 of a round down on the right rear jack screw, which also takes wedge out and raises the spoiler, which should help this race car, but they are also iffy on fuel, making it on one more stop. Meanwhile, the 22 car of Ward Burton has climbed up to the 18th position, but he's still complaining about his car being horribly loose. They made a track bar, a wedge, and air pressure adjustment. They were hoping to get a caution to pull a spring rubber. Right now, they're also going to look to the next pit stop to make more adjustments. Alan?
4 cars have broken away from the rest of the pack by lining up and just staying single file while the guys behind him are running side by side. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mike Skinner, Ricky Rudd, and Steve Park are those 4 drivers. We're at lap 71 of 160 that make up the distance tonight, closing in on halfway in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. At the leaders working some lap traffic now, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his 3 followers have caught and overtaken Kyle Petty and Bill Elliott, put them a lap down.
And right now, Ricky Craven, the lap car, the Tide Ride, has put himself between the leader, Junior, and Mike Skinner, the 31, in 2nd spot. But Craven wants to hang there, hopefully wants to try to stay there in case the caution flag comes out, get by the leader, get his lap back. It doesn't look like that's going to work.
Steve Park got kind of shaken out there when they got into the lap traffic. Lost a little bit of contact with these front 3. Skinner 2nd, Rudd 3rd. Craven is back in 38th position, 1 lap down. I mentioned Elliott and Kyle Petty. Kyle is in 40th. Elliott is in 41st. Rick Mast has gone a lap down. He's 42nd. And earlier, Stacy Compton running out of fuel on the pit stop. He's 43rd. Look at this.
Oh,
that's back for 10th spot on down.
Todd Bodine, 24 car of Jeff Gordon. There to see Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, and Dale Jarrett.
Haven't talked much about Dale so far tonight. 2nd in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship coming in. We look from Jeff Gordon back to Matt Kenseth.
Dale's one of those guys that sneaks up on you, though. You'll never see him, and then all of a sudden, 10 laps to go, he's there.
He's in front of you. You say, how do you do that?
Yeah.
More on Dale Jarrett from Bill Weber.
Well, they had a strong pit stop, and if you remember, DJ had complained about the water temperature going up. The original plan was to pull tape off the grill to try and get more air in there. They decided not to do that. Dale moved around a little bit on the racetrack, got some air in there, so that's not a problem as of right now.
Lead change. Mike Skinner out front.
And he did that very conventionally. Here's Ricky Rudd trying to take over that second spot, but it doesn't look like that's going to work.
Well, you got the teammates working up high, so.
And look at Junior go by on the outside of Skinner. Is he going to take the lead back? Yes, he is.
Wow.
All right, we saw Mike Skinner take the lead, but the record book will never show that.
Yep. Got a lead at the start-finish line there for it to count.
Sorry, Mike.
Skinner faced with a quandary from the driver's perspective. Ricky Rudd helped push him past Dale Jr. into the lead, but Dale Jr. drives a Chevrolet, Ricky Rudd drives a Ford. Skinner has to protect his make, doesn't he?
Well, it depends on who your friend's going to be that last lap. If Ricky helped me get up there, I need to help Ricky all night long, so he'll be there for me at the end.
You see the air temperature at the start of the race was 85. Has cooled off 4 degrees, and track temperature has only cooled off 3 degrees.
Steve Park racing Skinner for second.
Let me tell you something, guys. You guys don't forget, and as a driver, you don't forget. If somebody hangs you out to dry, you're going to remember it.
Halfway in one more lap. At Daytona, Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to lead the Pepsi 400. We've just crossed the halfway point of the race. 200 laps are in the books, 200 more still to go. Earnhardt Jr., Steve Park, and Mike Skinner, your top three. We're back to Daytona in just a minute. Back at Daytona, some shuffling in the top ranks in the Pepsi 400. Dale Earnhardt Jr. still leads, but second spot, they're mixing that one up good the last few laps.
Yeah, there's a lot of shuffling going on, all except for the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. still maintains that position. Mike Skinner's taking over the second spot. Michael Waltrip up to third. Kevin Harvick in fourth spot. There we see Steve Park and Michael Waltrip. Michael Wallace is back in the mix in that 7 car.
We knew who you meant.
Yeah, we do. Mike's running a great race tonight. He's been staying up in that lead 10, 12 just about all night long. They've had great pit stops. Good run for Mike.
Those 7 cars you're looking at all on the lead lap. They've shuffled the cars they overtook back into the traffic.
They're fighting for second.
Michael Waltrip under Mike Skinner. And now Waltrip's got help. His Dale Earnhardt Incorporated teammate is behind him, Steve Park. Mike Skinner's Richard Childress Racing teammates, the white car, Kevin Harvick.
Bailing out.
Going into the other line.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, look how far the junior has away of these guys battle for second position. And that other group that was a second behind them last time by is now on their rear bumper.
Now, has Dale Jr. got too big a lead? When they get lined up,
They got trouble here.
Andy Houston in the wall, cautions out. That's off turn 4. Grinding to a stop. Houston led the race earlier. See him moving around in the car, dropping the window net. That's his signal to the safety officials that he's okay.
I think you'll see a lot more aggressive changes, Benny, now that we're under caution. Everybody comes in at the same time. We may even see some spring rubbers being put in these cars.
And what this also does with the caution at lap 87, it takes the pit deficiency, the fuel mileage deficiency that Dale Earnhardt Jr. had out of the equation for now. If the race runs green from this set of stops, we'll see under the yellow to the finish, everybody's going to have to stop twice more. So if you're a Dale Jr. fan, this is a plus for you.
This is big. This really is big.
Andy Houston, this is the low end of what has been a good week so far for him. His wife Lori gave birth to a new son on Monday of this week. He led the race earlier. Now he ended up in the outside wall.
He broke something, cut a right front tire, Benny?
Yeah, the right front tire went flat on the car for some reason. And when that happens, the car just veers right, and there's nothing the driver can do. But you know one thing, he was very fortunate. He was running close to the wall.
I was just going to say that. That's the best place to be if you're going to cut a right front tire.
Look at that passenger side window the cars carry here at Daytona. You see that go flying out of the car when he hit the wall? It just popped that right out. He hit so hard. And there's Andy out of the car.
I've got a question, Benny. If these guys were loose, do you think they maybe they've increased the right front air pressure, maybe got too much heat in it?
Could very possible done that, yes. If you add air pressure to the right front tire, that will help the loose situation.
So we'll see everybody come on to pit road at lap number 89. And this caution flag, probably a big break for some of those drivers that had gotten shaken out of the draft, like, well, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. Casey Atwood were pretty well back, but it's a horrible break for Ricky Craven and Bill Elliott and those drivers who got overtaken by the leaders and didn't get a chance to maybe get it back on a cycle of green flag stops. They're trapped a lap down, and it's probably going to be that way the rest of the night. So here we go. Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, Steve Park, Mike Skinner, Mike Wallace will be the top 5 coming on to pit road. Let's go to Dave Burns.
And Ken Schrader will come in. He was running great out there. No changes anticipated other than air pressure for Ken at this point. And Newton Moore has this thing cranked up. They spent time in the wind tunnel earlier this year to try to get this right. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Michael Waltrip slid through his pit stall. He has to back up, and now the whole stop will have to start over. It's still supposed to be 4 tires and loosen them up a little bit with a track bar adjustment. Let's go to Marty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in. He clearly had the best car on that run, and he was not happy with it. A little loose off he was. They made a half pound out of or into the left rear, and they will win the race off pit road.
Rusty Wallace looked like a dirt track.
Oh, man. 31 car had to back up out of his pit, and 15 car just about hit him.
It's Mike Skinner and Michael Waltrip. Bill Weber.
Well, Michael Waltrip obviously came down pit road hot. He just said something about his brake pedal on the radio, but what happened is he slid through his stall into Skinner's stall, so when Skinner got here, there was no place for him to go. Then when Michael was ready to leave, he had to pull out around Skinner's car. Skinner's car wasn't in his stall. That made all kinds of traffic. I saw Jeremy Mayfield shoot through the grass. Remember, 2.5 miles on the track, but just 15 feet wide, 29 feet long on these pit stalls. When they pit under caution, it's a very hectic place.
When we were looking at the Michael Waltrip car back on the banking, I thought I saw a huge dent in the left side door.
I think that's the American flag, Alan.
It's just the paint?
Yeah, I think it's the paint job.
Optical delusion?
Yes.
I'm not sure. It looked like he and Skinner made contact right there behind the numbers, Benny, and that may be a dent there. We'll try and get a better look at it when he comes back around. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. first off of the pit lane.
And these pits, they look like they're big, and when the car's in them, but when you're down there and you've got to get in one of these pits, they are very small.
Cars a lap down, heading for pit road for their service now. Let's go back and take another look. See if Skinner doesn't actually get into the door of Michael Waltrip's car, and watch Mayfield have to take to the grass.
I don't know if we're going to see it in this.
See, cars are starting to leave. See, the 1 and the 17 almost ran into each other. Okay, Mike Skinner's going to back up. Michael Waltrip's going to try to leave.
You might have something there, Alan. He may have backed in there a little bit.
Wait a minute. Say that again. You might have something there, Alan.
You may have something there, Alan. I'm not going to 100%.
First time I've heard you say that. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. 90 laps complete in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. The restart when we come back.
Welcome back to Daytona. Caution in the 43rd running of the Pepsi 400. Moments ago, virtually the entire field on pit road, and watch what happened to the 15 car of Michael Waltrip coming down pit road. He slid through his stall, had to put it in reverse and back up. Now, because he had slid through his stall, Skinner, the car in front of him, was actually over the line, but that's legal because it was a forced move. So now when they finally get the 15 car ready to go, Michael has nowhere to go, because while you can't see it right here, he's got to swing all the way around. There's Skinner, and then you see the traffic coming by. Skinner trying to get out. Jeremy Mayfield goes through the grass. Wow. Wally?
I'm glad I didn't completely commit myself, Alan, on that one.
Let me have it.
Woo.
Go ahead.
That was close.
Alan, we're trained professionals. Just remember that.
How am I going to live with you two for the next 19 weeks? All right, well, getting ready to go back racing. Dale Earnhardt Jr. holding the lead through the pit stops. Steve Park is second, Matt Kenseth third, Ken Schrader fourth.
Everybody's on fresh tires. It's going to get real busy on the backstretch, I believe, on this restart. 4 wide, 3 or 4 wide.
This might be where we see someone go beneath that yellow line.
Oh, that's a no-no.
Out of bounds.
NASCAR said in the pre-race drivers meeting, go under the yellow line to improve your position.
Because here's what's going to happen. These guys in the back, say 12, 15 back, I think they're going to duck down, try to get a run on the lap down cars and split them. That's what I'd do.
All right. Green flag is out. We'll find out.
But you can't pass on the inside until you get to the start-finish line. So all these cars have to go by on the outside. Now, as they go down to one, you can pass if you're able to. Go get them.
There's a big gap there from about 15th back on that restart. Somebody got a bad restart there.
It's Bill Elliott and Stacy Compton trying to get a lap back from the leader. Elliott in the red Dodge on the inside.
Doesn't look like that's going to work tonight.
Not the way Dale Jr.'s running.
No.
And because somebody missed a shift or something in the middle of that pack, that took away your big charge?
I think so. Sterling dropped back about 6 or 7 car lengths there.
Somebody bottomed out really bad up there in 4th. Big shower spots. Mountain Dew pit summary.
Look at Matt Kenseth. Once again, a great pit stop by Robbie Reiser and that DeWalt team. 8th, comes out 3rd. Schrader picks up a couple and Harvick picks up a couple.
Only caution of the race brought out when Andy Houston hit the wall in turn 4 a short while ago. Let's hear from him.
Alan, new father Andy Houston has just called new mama Lori to tell her that he's okay. Andy, what did happen out there?
Cut a right front tire down on the McDonald's Ford. We had a really good race car. We ran up front early. It seemed like the longer we ran, the tighter the car got. First pit stop, made adjustments, tried to free the car up, and didn't nearly go far enough. The car really pushed that second run after the first stop, and finally ended up blowing the right front tire out and hitting the wall pretty hard. But I'm okay. Just another bad weekend for the McDonald's Ford, and you know, we just can't seem to get this thing turned around. Hopefully, we'll go to Chicago next week. That's home of McDonald's headquarters, and try to have a good run up there. It's pretty frustrating right now, but you know, we'll bounce back.
This is the best shot they've had. It was Andy's best career qualifying performance so far in Winston Cup. And Alan, apparently Andy also reports he may stick around. Joe Nemechek is not feeling well, and Andy may substitute for him if the need arises.
Well, Joe Nemechek is making his first start in some 6 races. He had a hard testing crash at Dover, which he broke his elbow and had assorted other injuries. This is his first race back, so maybe those injuries still feeling the after effects of. Look at the race for second here. Matt Kenseth and Steve Park. Kenseth in the 17, Park in the 1. Got Ken Schrader behind Kenseth.
31 car went from
and
23rd
for the lead. Kenseth outside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Side by side. Now we'll see how strong Junior's car is.
Yes, and look at all these cars behind him just clawing for position. We see Schrader literally pushing Kenseth down the straightaway, trying to bump him in front of the 8 car.
Opening laps of the race, Sterling Marlin had the strongest car, dropped back into the field till he could get a couple of pit stops for the crew to adjust the car. He's sneaking back up. He's in 9th spot, while Kenseth and Junior come to the stripe, still going at it for the lead.
Kenseth in 17, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 8. They raced together in the NASCAR Busch Series for a couple of years. Became pretty good friends, but not friends enough to give the other one the victory.
170,000 seats at Daytona. They're all empty. Everybody's on their feet.
Like Wallace. Wallace, be careful that yellow line down there. Oh, and he goes by Big Brother Rusty. Boy, you know that did his heart good. Kenseth could not make the pass happen.
Speeds at the line. Now that's more like it. The car's back in the draft, getting towed along a little bit faster. That's what we expect to see. 63 laps to go in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. for now has fended off another challenge to take away the #1 spot. "250 miles will be complete as they cross the start-finish line this time in the 43rd Pepsi 400. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the leader. He has fended off about all challengers to his top spot, and there have been a few for a little while now. Earnhardt Jr. went to the front for the first time at lap number 27.
There wasn't room there, Kenseth. There was not room to go on the outside, but somehow he did it.
He did it because Dale Jr. gave him the room.
Man, oh man, there couldn't have been just inches on either side.
Bill Weber has more on Matt Kenseth.
Well, I guess they are good friends, huh, Benny? After a move like that?
Oh man, Bill.
Now remember, early in the race, Matt was loose, so on the first pit stop, they tightened him up, made him way too tight. So on the most recent pit stop, they made other changes. A half-pound in the right rear, half-pound out of the right front, a half turn out of the left rear. They made those changes. This car is good now, but it's better on long runs. Remember, Robbie Reiser said, my car and my driver are strong. Marty?
And Bill, actually what happened there is Dale Jr. was trying to protect the high line. A couple of minutes ago, he talked to his spotter, Ty Norris. Jr.'s car can run anywhere. He said, where does Steve want to run? Meaning his teammate, Steve Park. Ty Norris said he needs to run high. He said, okay, I'll run high. He was trying to protect that high line and keep his teammate behind him. And wow, what a strong car he's got. He muscled his way back up to the front. Now he has the lead once again.
The problem is Steve Park's in the low line.
And Earnhardt Jr. now has moved down to try to bring the 31, the Chevrolet of Skinner, and Steve Park. Almost some contact there between Rusty and the 29, huh, Wally?
Yeah, that was awfully close.
Look at Jr. pull down and pull that bottom line with him.
Junior's car is really fast in the corner. I mean, it basically stay the same in the straightaway, but if you watch his car in a corner, he actually leaves the car behind him when they go through the corners.
Here's our Dodge race fact. 4 times in this July Classic at Daytona, the Pepsi 400 has been won by a Dodge. 1977 was the last one. The King, Richard Petty, was behind the wheel of that car. We have a second retiree from the race. Jeff Purvis has taken his car to the garage. Some smoke trailing from behind it on that last set of pit stops. It has now been officially put out of this Pepsi 400. Three Chevrolets, 2 Fords in the top 5. Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to show the way in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona on NBC. 106 of 160 laps complete, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the dominant driver thus far. Here's our Napa Field summary. Sterling Marlin dominant early, then Dale Earnhardt Jr. dominant since. Only one caution flag. That when Andy Houston hit the wall back at lap number 88. Houston and Jeff Purvis, the 2 drivers out of the race.
Steve Park was 3rd last lap, and he was desperately trying to get in the same line as the 8 car and got shuffled out and dropped back to 16th.
In 1 lap?
In 1 lap.
Man, I blinked and I missed that.
And you're the driver behind the wheel, and you're trying not to rip the steering wheel right out of the car, right?
That's the frustration part I talked about during the telecast.
35 cars on the lead lap now. The only cars that are not on the lead lap are Ricky Craven, Dave Marcus, Stacy Compton, Bill Elliott, Kyle Petty, and Rick Mast. They all fell way behind on a set of green flag pit stops where they lost the draft, and then the leaders overtook them, and then the caution came out. Everybody else besides those drivers and Purvis and Houston, who are out of the race, still in the hunt, basically.
Mike Skinner has really given that 31 car a great run tonight as well. We just saw in the graphic that after that botched pit stop that he had fallen back to 22nd position, and right now is battling for the second spot with Rusty Wallace.
Rusty showing a little muscle for the first time tonight. Bill Weber has more on Rusty Wallace.
Alan, two things everybody needs to know about Rusty Wallace. How hard that team worked to get this car ready for Daytona and how much Rusty wants this win. He's never won a restrictor plate race, was third in the Daytona 500. Crew Chief Robin Pemberton spent the time and money to wind tunnel this car that we showed you in the pre-race show. Right now, Rusty is desperate to get to the front. He wanted to be able to run up high on the racetrack, so they made that change last time. But the track keeps changing. First it's up high, then it's down low. Robin said, really, it's just like I told you after practice. There's no one guy out there yet, except Dale Jr.
About the third or fourth guy, Mike Skinner, that's gone up to try and take the lead away from Dale Jr., and each time he seems to find a way to keep it out front. He's making all the right moves. He is inspired.
Yes, he is. It looks like Rusty Wallace is going to get by Skinner to take over that second position.
Mike Skinner's team asking NASCAR if he actually led that last lap to get 5 bonus points in the championship. Answer came back negative.
I checked the monitor when they went by. It was a very, very close finish to the line, and the monitor said that Dale Jr. had led that lap.
3 deep.
Yep,
That's Ken Schrader up the outside.
There's Jeff Gordon down on the inside.
Mike can't run up high or what the deal was to lead that open. He's going to lose a lot of spots now, him and the 29 car. But maybe he can't run up that high.
Watch that yellow line, Jeremy Mayfield.
He thought about it.
The 12 car started to look low.
It's going to be real tempting the last 5 laps.
Skinner finally got back in line. Here comes Rusty Wallace. Oh, he opens up the outside a little bit, and Schrader just drives up on the outside. Along with Matt Kenseth. Junior goes up to block that.
Outside all the way.
That Junior can just go from the bottom to the top. He handles any place in the corner.
He's having to work real hard to figure out which line to stay in now. Dale Jr. is.
He's looking in his mirror as much as he's looking out of the windshield.
Here's a Craftsman Truck Series update. This was earlier today at the new Kansas Speedway. How about Ricky Hendrick, son of the Winston Cup champion many times now? Team owner Rick Hendrick got his first win in the Truck Series.
Congratulations, Ricky. I know your dad and your grandpop is just as thrilled as they can be. And how about John Wood in 4th spot? That's Eddie Wood's son. Next 20 years old.
Yeah, next generation of the Wood brothers coming along. This one behind the wheel. Rusty Wallace running second. Richard Childress Racing teammates there. Skinner in the 31, Harvick in the 29. And Mark Martin starting to move back into the picture. Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to run out in front of the Pepsi 400. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. The Pepsi 400 from Daytona International Speedway. Under green at lap 116 of 160. It has been Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s night so far. Here's our Home Depot track fact. The lighting system installed here at Daytona 1998. Enough to illuminate a 2-lane street from Daytona Beach to Muscatine, Iowa. Here's your knowledge tester, Benny. Muscatine, Iowa, significant in that trivia fact for what?
It's the name, it's the hometown of the company that installed the lighting system, Musco.
There you go. Very good. That was too easy. I knew I wouldn't catch you out on that one.
Look at this. Look on the inside. Oh, he almost ran down to the yellow line. Sterling Marlin, the pole sitter in that Dodge, trying to work his way back to the front. Last time by was in about the 7th position.
Sterling led 2 times for 20 laps early in the event, then dropped way back in the field with an ill-handling car.
But somebody was smoking off that second corner.
It's Joe Nemechek's car. NASCAR spotters are reporting, Benny.
There it is.
And there it is.
That's too bad.
It's like there's smoke inside the cockpit there, too.
Oh, I see. He's hit the wall.
Well, that'll do it.
Yes. That was tire smoke we were seeing.
Yeah, right back here you see the bumper. The rear part of the bumper's hanging out. Right there. I tried.
You were one of those kids that couldn't come.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I'd come in and give it to Andy now.
I think I would too.
Go ahead, Andy. Take her out.
Andy Houston is standing by because Joe Nemechek was not feeling well. He's feeling worse now. Back to the lead.
And you hope that his aches and pains didn't contribute to getting into the wall, or getting into the wall didn't make him worse.
And as we watch this, Nemechek will bring his car to pit road.
Mike Skinner hung out again. A lot of rumors around Skinner concerning his future in this 31 car, that maybe Richard Childress might be considering a change. Nothing confirmed there, but certainly external pressure on Skinner with all the speculation around to have some good performances. Let's get an update on Joe Nemechek from Dave Burns.
Well, Alan, they didn't do much. They put on 2 right side tires and told him not to speed, and didn't lift the hood, didn't do anything else. In fact, I'm going to go take a look. There is fluid down there. Can't quite tell what it is. Yeah, not sure what it is, guys. We'll check on it and see if there's anything really wrong with the car. They know they can make it to the end now on fuel, though.
This pack is going to overtake him off of turn 2 and onto the backstretch. Well, he might be able to blend in.
I don't think so.
No. First instinct was right. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has spent most of the time in this race since lap 27 in the lead. We're now at lap 120, 300 miles into the Pepsi 400. Closing in on another set of pit stops coming up in another 12, 15 laps or so. This is back for 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Oh, man, they're ganged up 3 abreast. Come on now, guys. Easy, easy.
Play nice. If it looks tight from here, it's really tight looking at it from down there.
Ward. Burton's car, the gold Dodge there. See that thing just start pushing up off turn 2. He had to get out of the gas and slide in behind Schrader.
Yes, I did.
And the other car's going by him on the outside because he had to crack the throttle.
And Ward Burton's Hart, the 22 driver, he started beating again. I'm told that Joe Nemechek made contact with Dave Marcus on the racetrack. The 71 did not hit the wall, but the damage we saw to the right side was from contact with Dave Marcus.
Nemechek in 35th position, the first car 1 lap down. And in fact, just overtaken by Ricky Craven to put him back to 36th.
Look at Todd Bodine going up there. Angels fear to tread.
Earnhardt Jr., Sterling Marlin, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Todd Bodine, Ward Burton, Michael Waltrip, and Robert Presley all led laps in this race. Presley by staying on the racetrack when everybody else pitted under the caution. Back at lap number 89, he came in a lap later, but did collect 5 bonus points. If you lead a lap in a Winston Cup race, you collect 5 extra championship points. Lead the most laps, you get another 5 bonus points.
It's amazing what's going on behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. I looked just a moment ago and Jeff Gordon was running in 12th spot, and there he is trying to take the 3rd spot away from Michael Waltrip with help from Kurt Busch. I'll probably look in a few minutes to be back at 15th. It's just back and forth. But one thing is constant, that white number 8 car, the baseball car in front.
Yep, nobody's been able to do anything with them, even if they gang up on them.
Michael Waltrip, after the problems on the pit stop earlier at lap 89 when he slid through his pits, regaining those lost positions. Taken third. Well, the leader should be coming onto pit road sometime soon. Marty Snyder, let's hear from you about it.
Yeah, Alan, about lap 142 or 143, which is not too long from now, we will see the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., on pit road. He's fighting 2 problems right now. 1, he wants to make sure he stays out front. And 2, don't get too big of a lead. He is still about 3/4 throttle. He can pull away from these guys if he wants to. They plan no adjustments on the next stop. He wants to stay out front. To Bill Weber.
Could Michael Waltrip be writing another Daytona miracle story? The Daytona 500 winner coming in here looking for the Daytona sweep, winning the 500 and the 400. Had a good car, came down a pit road, as Alan talked about, slid through his pit, lost all those positions, almost hit Skinner on the way out, fell way back in the field, then charged back to the front. The big critical questions when they pit: who will they have as a partner, and how many guys are going to take how many tires if they take any? Down to Dave.
Bill, I've been keeping my eye on Mike Wallace all night, and my note sheet says the same thing all the way down. It's okay, it's fine, it's great. Mike Wallace hasn't had any changes, and Jim Long, the crew chief, tells me that he can drive the car anywhere on the track that he wants to. It's now up to him to find a way near the end of the race to be out front at just the right time. Mike Wallace is having a great run. Matt Yoakum.
Dave, Jeff Gordon has climbed to the 4th position on his last pit stop. The only adjustments they made were to the driver. They handed a water bottle and 2 ice packs. He was a little bit warm, but no adjustments on the 24 car. Says the car is still a little loose on entry, but he is adjusting with his driving. And keep in mind, this car is very stout. This 24 machine is the last non-rad associated team to go to victory lane in a restrictor plate race. To Bill.
RAD being a aerodynamic group, an association between Richard Childress Racing, Andy Petrie Racing, and Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Racing, where they all pool resources with an aerodynamicist to study and improve their cars, particularly for these races here at Daytona and at its sister track, Talladega. Look out, Michael Waltrip and Mike Wallace.
And here's Ward Burton back in the mix. We saw Sterling Marlin in a Dodge up there just a moment ago. Here comes the other one. Ward Burton has moved in, looks like the 5th spot.
Ward started in 2nd, fell way back in the field. He's picking his way back into the top 5 as we close in on pit stops in the finish of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has dominated so far. Can he hang on to what would be an extremely emotional win? 26 laps to go in the Pepsi 400, and about 6 to 9 laps from the final round of pit stops for the leaders, which will happen under green if we don't see the yellow between now and then.
4 or 2 tires. You know, that's a question right now. I would think if the front group comes in and takes 4 tires, I'd have to take 2 tires if I came in the next lap.
But you've run a full fuel load. You can change the tires as fast as you can fill the tank with fuel. I guess it just depends how much fuel you need to put in.
Exactly. You don't need a full fuel load to go the distance, so it could be some strategies playing off here.
Yeah.
And we've seen these cars tonight run faster. As they burn off fuel, they get faster and faster.
Look at Jeff Gordon trying to get up to the outside of Michael Waltrip. His drafting partners left him.
And there's Ward Burton moving into the 4th spot.
Everybody bailed out to the inside line. Gordon's going to go all the way back behind Skinner. He's going to drop to 7th. Ricky Craven on and off pit road. Craven a lap down already. Now, a constant theme throughout the night has been Joe Gibbs Racing's 2 entries being at the back of the field. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart dropped to the tail end of the line pretty quickly at the green flag, and they've run there all night. This is Labonte in 30th spot.
But you know, he's only 4.5 seconds behind the leader. And if they really have a good race car after that final pit stop, then's when he's going to try to start gaining those positions.
Tony Stewart, his teammate, is in 26th position. Marty Snyder can tell us more about the Joe Gibbs teammates.
And guys, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte have a radio channel where they can talk to each other. And about 15 laps ago, Tony clicked over to that channel and said, Bobby, let's go to the front. Bobby told Jimmy Nakar, his crew chief, it's time to see what we can do. They've been laying back about half throttle at the back of the pack all night long. Since that time, Tony Stewart has picked up 9 spots. Bobby Labonte has picked up 6. And as far as the last pit stop goes, guys, some teams are considering fuel only down here and no tires.
Riding along in Tony Stewart's car, let's listen to how he's using his throttle in the corner and then compare that to the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He squeezed off the throttle just a little bit as he entered turn 3, but he's now back wide open again.
Now Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Remember, if you pit for 2, don't flat spot them getting into pits. You're all clear.
Doesn't sound like he's lifting to me.
Sure doesn't. We can't tell. He may be running 7/8 throttle or 3/4 throttle. We can't tell that. But now some of these guys, Marty Snyder talked about, is that Jeff Gordon in the fence or just way, way high?
He's fallen back. He's back to 14th position. And he's gotten himself down to the inside line as he coming to pit road. He may just be getting himself clear of traffic to make his pit stop. Bill Elliott, Casey Atwood, and Stacy Compton are all on pit road for stops.
But now Marty Snyder talked about some of these guys fuel only. And Wally, we've seen cars make these pit stops, slam on the brakes and slide these tires. Here comes Tony Stewart. Here comes Bobby Labonte on the pit road. You cannot slide these tires if it's going to be fuel only. You cannot flat spot these tires.
That's right. And what Benny, what you're talking about is when you lock up the brakes, it just takes that rubber off that tire where the tires are locked up, and then they're out of round, and it just vibrates, and you have to come in and change them.
Marty Snyder.
Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte are in. They obviously can make it the rest of the way from here. They're going to take at least 2 tires. Both of the cars will take 2 tires and no adjustments for either race car.
Pluses and minuses of 2 tires.
Well, it takes less time. That's the plus and minus. I talked a moment ago, they're 5 seconds behind. 2 tires, if Earnhardt Jr. changes 4, that puts him right with him because they don't need a full load of fuel. Just 1 can.
But the minus is handling.
Adhesion, yes.
Yeah, the guys with 4 tires, when they catch them, they're going to go right by.
Kevin LePage, Ken Schrader, Jeremy Mayfield are on pit road as the leaders come down the back stretch. We'll see who pits this time around among this group.
I think Schrader was gas only.
They're taking tires back over the wall. We'll check on that.
2 tires.
Leaders off turn 4. Who's bailing out? Johnny Benson is. A couple of cars in the middle of the pack. All the front runners stay out. Dave Blaney's the other one headed to pit road. There's Benson. Blaney right behind him.
Blaney just got on the brakes hard. Bunch of smoke comes out, so I'll be interested to see what they change.
19 laps to go. These pit stops could be everything in determining who wins this race. Two tires.
Yep.
Now that the first couple have done 2, isn't the pressure on the rest of these teams to just get 2?
Yes, it really is.
Unless you're deep in the field.
Here come a large pack of front runners. Trouble off the corner.
31.
Several cars involved. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sterling Marlin, Mike Skinner, Jeff Gordon's in it. Bobby Hamilton. Kurt Busch is in the crash. Dale Jarrett takes to the pit road. Terry Labonte's involved. Caution's out.
I didn't see it, but it looked like some guys were trying to get in the pits, and it just stacked up.
See some damage to the right front of Kevin Harvick's car. Not a lot of damage, but damage.
Oh.
A lot of damage to that automobile.
Ran so well earlier in the night. There's Skinner up against the fence.
Mike's moving around. Looks like he's okay.
Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick took their cars straight to pit road. But it all happened behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There's Bobby Hamilton trying to push his car backwards down pit road.
That car will go behind the wall. We talked about the big wreck. This one happened in a way we didn't expect.
A lot of damage to Terry Labonte's car.
All right, let's see if we can sort this one out.
All right, here they're coming off the corner. And I think there's going to be contact right there. Skinner and Kurt Busch get together. Turn Skinner into the wall head on. Labonte has no place to go. Neither does Bobby Hamilton when Skinner comes back across the racetrack. Now there's no place for anybody to go.
Who was that just snuck by?
Nemechek, yeah.
And
John Andretti.
Dave Marcus gets down on the grass and somehow saves it.
He's almost as good as you.
I know.
And you know what? The 7 car was slowing down, coming in the pits. 31 checked up, 97 ran into him.
Yep.
Shot right across in front of Terry Labonte. Watch the back of this. Dale Jarrett, top right of your screen, going to come through the smoke, head for pit road.
Looked a lot of wrecking going on there, Dale. I'd be careful on pit road if I were you. The racetrack looked to be the safest place. You ever see Kurt Busch right on the back bumper, and Mike Wallace goes toward pit road. There's the contact. Skinner gets turned, and man, Terry Labonte says, oh no.
Is that Mark Martin piling in there? Mark has continued driving around, but his chance at that $1 million bonus appears to have taken a little bit of a hit there if the damage is significant on his car. Was that Mark's car?
Another shot.
Get a better look at it here.
And it just doesn't take much. I mean, you know, Mike saw the 7 car coming in the pits. He rolled out the throttle a little bit. Busch couldn't see what was going on. It just doesn't take much.
There we saw the contact with Jeff Gordon. Listen to this, folks.
There's nothing you can do on that. You're all those guys behind and nowhere to go. They're up there minding their own business. And
Sterling Marlin.
Oh, that hurts. That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, man, I felt that. Did you feel that?
I did feel that. That's because you hit me when it happened. Ricky Rudd's lucky man.
Jeff Gordon, let's see him down there. He makes contact with Sterling Marlin. And the 97 car makes contact with Jeff. He goes down through the grass.
I mean, Nemechek.
Look at Joe Nemechek. Pit road is closed because a number of the cars involved in the accident crashing down onto the pit entry. They want to make sure they've got all the metal picked up and other debris. So we'll take a break, come back for the caution flag pit stops in just a moment. Only 16 laps to go in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
Welcome back to Daytona. Pit stops that could decide the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader, is in. Much about 2 or 4 tires. They decided to go the safe route with 4 tires, and they will still win the race off pit road, barely beating Mike Wallace.
Nice job, guys.
See what NASCAR has to say about that. You see that white line right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit. All he has to do is bump the clutch and get the car across that line.
That was close.
And that locks in his position in the pit exit order. So we'll see where they position people from that.
I don't know if the 7 took 4 or 2 tires on that stop.
Had to be 2.
Yeah.
Had to be 2.
Yeah. And 4 tires, that's the right move.
Jeff Gordon still getting attention. One of the 7 cars involved in the wreck just a moment ago off turn 4.
Kevin Harvick, we saw the damage on the right front. They're trying to put a piece of aluminum over that.
Now, let's see. Look at the white line coming out of pit road off the pit stops. That line. Who got there first?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. Could you, Benny?
Nope, up for NASCAR to decide. That's why they get the big bucks.
So Mike Wallace, for now, defending his position in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the track, but Jr. trying to drop the hint that he thinks maybe he got out first. Seen this on many, well now.
Yeah, he was just told.
He was told by his team. I didn't hear NASCAR tell him.
Yeah, here comes Mike back.
I didn't hear NASCAR. But the big winners in all this are the orange car and the green car right there. Bobby Labonte in the green car and Tony Stewart in the orange machine.
They have made their pit stop. They just changed 2 tires, but they have that track position they've been looking for all night long.
Here are the cars involved in the crash. Adding Jason Leffler to the list that we gave you earlier. Mark Martin, one of the No Bull 5 drivers with the shot at the $1 million bonus tonight. All triggered with Kurt Busch into the back of Mike Skinner as Mike Wallace slowed to get to pit road. Dave Burns.
Well, and Alan, Sterling Marlin is helping orchestrate whatever fixes they might make here. Sterling, do you think you can make fixes at all here and get back in?
I don't know, it broke something on the steering. I didn't have any steering and couldn't turn left. Something's broke somewhere, but I hate to follow Coors Light, guys. We had a pretty good car, just tight and loose at times. I don't know what happened. Somebody got in somebody.
What was the first reaction you had? Did your spotter didn't even have time to tell anything, did you?
No, it looked to me like Skinner cut somebody off to get in the pits and turned him sideways, and we don't know where for us to go. But that's what you get with these rules. Everybody's on top of each other. And I pray to the good Lord they change these rules because you can't race.
All right, strong opinion from Sterling Marlin on the aerodynamic rules that they have in the cars here, as well as the restrictor plate racing. Alan?
Sterling Marlin 5th in the championship coming into this race. He'll take a big hit in points tonight. 14 laps to go at Daytona. Championship standings, Jeff Gordon leading Dale Jarrett by 126 coming into the race. But there you see if the race were to finish as it is now.
Ricky Rudd will move into 2nd spot, only 106 points behind Jeff Gordon.
Gordon running in 24th, Jarrett in 21st, and Rudd in 11th on the racetrack at the moment. Take a break while the track cleanup continues and get back for the final frantic scramble to the finish in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. The Pepsi 400 is down to its final 12 laps. They're making preparations for the big celebration in Victory Lane. The question is, making the turn through the gates?
I don't know.
The whole running order has been jumbled by the caution coming out for the crash in the middle of the green flag pit stops. Johnny Benson is the leader of the race. Benson made his pit stop under green at lap 141, stayed on the lead lap, and was in front of Bobby Labonte and the other guys who'd already stopped when the caution came out. So Benson's the leader. Dave Blaney is 2nd. 3rd is Ken Schrader. Jeremy Mayfield is 4th. Tony Stewart 5th. Then Bobby Labonte 6th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in 7th place. And by the way, he did beat Mike Wallace off the pit lane. So it's Jr., then Mike Wallace, then Rusty Wallace, and Ward Burton. Going to be 11 laps to go. What do you think?
I think they better look out for Junior because he'll be coming and he will have fire in his eye. This young man wants this one tonight badly. He wants to end up where we saw that picture just a moment ago in Victory Lane.
And we talked about the big wreck and how the closer we got to the finish, the higher the probability. These guys are really going to be on edge right now.
Yes. Yeah, we might have another big one here before this is over.
11 laps to settle the Pepsi 400. Here we go.
Now's when you're making deals.
On board with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dives to the inside. Not room there. Decides wisely, decides to back up a little bit.
Got to clear the lap cars first. Joe Nemechek, the 33, was up alongside Benson, the leader. He was the first one a lap down.
Boy, Junior wants to go to the inside so badly. He doesn't have any choice now. He dives down to the inside.
Better watch the out-of-bounds line. Off the tri-oval, the temptation will be great to try and go under Elliott and Nemechek. Caution's out. Trouble off turn 4. Jeff Gordon's car smoking heavily.
Looks like he's made contact with the outside retaining wall. That's on board with Jeff Gordon, and you can see that we can't see much.
Yeah, nothing much to see.
While they're racing back around toward the caution, they're being told, the drivers are by NASCAR, that they've already taken the caution. It was out when they got here the first time, so slow down.
A huge, huge break for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yes.
Because on the restart, all the cars will line up single file. Those lap cars will go back to the 25th position where they're running on the racetrack. And now he can race these guys for the lead. And he's shown all night that he has a very fast race car. The problem is he going to run out of time?
If you're new to NASCAR, there is a rule called the 10-lap rule. Once you get inside the final 10 laps of the race, if there's a restart, only the cars on the lead lap go to the front of the pack and line up in single file. So Joe Nemechek's role on that last restart won't be there the next restart.
And that's a very important rule, and I'm glad to see it, especially on the restrictor plate races, because we've seen so many times the big crash, the other big crash happen on a restart getting towards the end of the race.
All right, let's find out.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. was 7th spot. I mean, he actually started 14th. Here's Jeff Gordon, and we see.
I don't think he hit the wall, Benny.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
I think some damage from that earlier crash, maybe cut an oil line or something.
I think he looks like he cut a tire.
Matt Yoakum, what happened to Gordon?
The guys jumped off the pit box. They were getting ready to head back to the garage, and Gordon said the car is still running, but it does not have a lot of oil pressure. Maybe it cut an oil line. Robbie Loomis told him to bring the car to pit road. We'll see what we can do. If possibly we can fix it. There are a few laps left. Possibly we can save some points out of this, Alan.
So Jeff Gordon, the championship's leader's troubles continue. 9 laps to go at Daytona. We'll take a break and come back and see how it turns out in a minute. The Pepsi 400 at Daytona draws down to a precious few final laps. 8 to go. We're under caution. It came out when something looks like an oil line came out from underneath Jeff Gordon's car. Johnny Benson is the leader. Benson got the lead by being on the racetrack when the caution came out, having already made a pit stop. Question is, did he get 2 tires, 4 tires? Dave Burns.
Well, we'll ask James Ince. They are on strategy right now. James, when you came on under green on pit road, did you take on 2 or 4 tires?
We took on right side tires, and that's not really a concern to us. This car's always done pretty good on 2 tires. About won 2 races last year here on 2 tires. So, you know, we'd rather be leading right now with 2 than be back in the back with 4.
And you've been dumped to the rear before at the end of a race like this. How do you keep that from happening this time?
Well, it's either going to, if it gets dumped to the rear, it's going to be backwards into the fence because they come by. They're going to have to hit it hard.
All right, Johnny Benson wants to win. Let's go to Marty.
Well, Daytona Uri Sr. is the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. You've led 111 laps tonight, but it seems like time might be running out. He's sitting back there with caution laps counting away.
Yeah, this situations that nobody likes to see on a plate race because they'll be 5 wide when they come back, and there ain't no telling what's going to happen. Definitely, best man's probably not going to win this race. Ain't no telling what's going to happen.
Do you think he will not win the race? Because he said on the radio, I think we can get past him.
Well, we definitely got the car to pass him. And we're definitely going to give it a try. And that Budweiser Chevy will get there, we're going to get there. But this plate racing stuff, it's all with who's in front of you and who's behind you or whatever. So you don't have no control of your own destiny. If we can get there, we'll get there. If we can't, hey, we know who had the fastest car tonight.
From cars behind him, he has been promised help, but he does not know if he's going to be able to get to the front in time.
Oh, man, 6 laps to go when they throw the green flag. And passing on the restrictor plate racetracks is a tough thing to do. We've seen cars unable to pass him all night long, but we haven't seen how easily he can pass.
Tell you what, too, you got 3 guys up there in the top 3 right now. 2 of them have not won a race. 1 hasn't won a race in a long time. I'd be making deals with each other, saying, guys, Let's not let some of these guys that win every weekend win one of these races. Let's run together, run some laps, and last lap every man for himself.
All right, bottom line, can Dale Jr. win this race?
Yes.
You're thinking about it too long.
Yeah, you know, like Tony said, if they get 3-4 wide on the backstretch, anything can happen, and it will. Well, now he still has a shot.
Let's talk about the desperation factor, okay? The first two, Johnny Benson and Dave Blaney, have never won a Winston Cup race. Ken Schrader hasn't won the third-place car since 1991. Tony Stewart, running fifth, is one of the drivers eligible for the $1 million bonus.
Got 5 very hungry men sitting up there right now.
Yes, plus Jeremy Mayfield, who's in there, and those guys all in front of Dale Jr. Behind Dale Jr. to help him draft, Mike Wallace, Bobby Labonte, Rusty Wallace, Ward Burton. I'm sure he'd love to see Michael Waltrip or Steve Park somewhere close to him, but Michael's back in 14th and Park is in 22nd.
I don't think Dale needs anybody.
Right, get all the gears.
7 laps left. Now it'll be 6 as they come to the start-finish line. Time to settle the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 6th in line, and Benson leads on the restart.
Once again, you can't pass on the inside till you get to that line. All right, it's free game. Let's go.
Ward Burton quickly down to the inside to try and grab a spot.
You see Jeff Gordon back on the racetrack. Earnhardt Jr. lagged back, trying to get him a run. He has that run, but Tony Stewart pulls up in front of him. He's got Jeremy Mayfield.
He's got time, I guess.
Schrader pushed to the outside lane.
20 cars, the only one upstairs. He's still outside.
Look at Junior go.
Up to 4th. Here comes Bobby Labonte pushing through. Junior to the outside of Mayfield for 3rd.
7's coming with you. 7's coming.
Mike Wallace is coming with him. We can hear Ty Norris telling him, you got help on the outside, Junior.
Does Blaney block in the 93? What about Benson?
They're going to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. I think they're going to give the outside to Junior.
Jeff Gordon getting black flagged by NASCAR.
Still there.
Here's Dale Jr. to the outside of Dave Blaney for 2nd spot. Mayfield pushes him along in the draft.
Still there. Still there.
To the outside for the lead in turn 4. Dale Earnhardt Jr. rockets to the front at Daytona. Listen to the crowd.
And look at this crowd behind him. Look at this race behind him. And Tony Stewart gets run underneath the yellow line.
Tony Stewart will be black flagged by NASCAR. Black flag for Tony Stewart for going below the out-of-bounds line.
All clear, all clear.
And Tony Stewart is in 2nd spot with $1 million on the line.
Okay, 20 is coming, but you're all clear, all clear.
Here comes Bobby Labonte. He's got $1 million on the line as well. It's Michael Waltrip who's pushing him toward the front.
And Labonte's underneath the yellow line on the backstretch.
This thing's not over yet. Michael Waltrip trying to become the first man to sweep a season at Daytona since 1982. He's up to 3rd.
18-15 behind you. 3 laps to go.
Ward Burton dives low.
Low, but you're clear.
I'll tell you one thing. If Junior was running 3/4 throttle, all that ended because he's running wide open right now.
Ward Burton rocketing toward the front. Look at him on the outside. Outside of Michael Waltrip for 3rd. Here's Elliott Sadler up to 5th. Where'd he come from in the Wood Brothers car?
Beats me.
Frantic, intense racing in the final laps at Daytona. But it's still Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front. They've got to take the win away from him.
Teammate behind the 18.
Tony Eury Jr.'s clapping, saying, come on, Junior, come on.
2 to go.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to block, trying to keep those cars behind him, desperately trying to keep them behind him. He runs so good through the corner, he lets them get a run on him down the straightaway.
Michael Waltrip dives underneath Bobby Labonte. Labonte. They bump on the backstretch. Waltrip to second. Elliott Sadler and Rusty Wallace with him.
Coming behind you.
Now 2 team cars race in the 1 and 2 positions.
That's who Dale needs to see in his rearview mirror right now. That's the best thing he can see.
Will Michael Waltrip block for Dale Jr.? Will he try to win the race himself? White flag is out. Final lap at Daytona. 180,000 on their feet, screaming wildly. 2.5 miles to go.
Just exactly the opposite of the Daytona 500. It was 15 and 8. Elliott Sadler is trying to keep Bobby Labonte behind. He can't do it. But he does move down in front of Rusty Wallace on that fast line.
All clear, all clear.
Bobby Labonte looking for some help, trying to get up there. His teammate Tony Stewart has never answered the black flag.
And they're 4 wide back between the Wallace boys.
Here they come, turn 4, final lap of the Pepsi 400. Michael Waltrip in second, but it's going to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. using lessons learned from his father to go from 6th to 1st and score the victory in the Pepsi 400.
That's unbelievable.
Yes!
That band behind you did it for
Yes!
you. You guys celebrate. You love your band. You did it.
That was beautiful. Very, very nice.
Junior, you're happy.
All right, you
Look
guys
at
are
that
awesome.
smile. Wow.
I don't think there's anybody here that didn't want to see that.
Sentimental favorite, emotional favorite. Earlier in the broadcast, we talk among ourselves. Some of the moves he made on the track today looked like his father behind the wheel.
I am speechless.
Tears and cheers.
Pretty cool.
Marty Snyder's on pit road with Tony Uri, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief.
And you wouldn't believe the emotion, the tears out here for Dale Earnhardt Jr. If that wasn't like the old man, I don't know what was, Tony Sr.
Hey, he had a good teacher. He told him a lot about this place. He loves this place. Hell, listen to them fans up there. They love that kid to death.
I saw you look to the heavens with a few laps to go. What did you say?
Well, he said he knew he could beat him. We just didn't know what was going to happen.
Remember when we've seen this before?
And Steve Mills joining the fray now.
Yeah, man, D.I.'s tough. D.I.'s tough.
We can celebrate.
What a finish at Daytona. Dale Jr. on top of the car in the infield.
The 1998 Daytona 500, when his father finally won the Great American Race, he threw the car into the grass doing victory donuts. Everybody joining in the celebration. That's Chocolate Myers, long-time crewman for Dale at Richard Childress Racing. Sixth to first in the final 6 laps. All right, Mikey, you celebrate too. You never got to celebrate your win in February. You celebrate now.
Man, that's just so cool. Storybook ending.
Oh, this is great. Mosh pit. Tony Uri and Dale Jr. getting together. Now he's got to get it back over to victory lane.
Let me tell you something, guys. he went to exactly the right place.
Yes,
exactly the right place. I don't know how he knew to do that, but that's where he needed to go.
And that poor NASCAR official is responsible for that car to make sure it gets through tech inspection cleanly. There had to be about 300 people around it down there on the grass. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is our winner, and Chevy congratulates him in the number 8 Monte Carlo on a big win tonight. And he'll tell you the only thing that comes close to Monte Carlo's reputation on the track is its reputation on the street. Monte Carlo, more champions depend on Chevy. We'll be there. To victory lane and Bill Weber.
It's Tony Uri Sr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. These friends of yours?
Man, I just don't know what to say. I'm wore out. I can't think. I guess I gotta thank my buddy Tony, my crew chief, for hanging in there with me. All my friends, all the guys on the crew, Budweiser, Remington. I got to talk all night.
How did you get to the front after the restart?
I had a great car. It was all car, 100%. I just holding on.
Yeah. You've learned a few things through the years, though, haven't you, from certain people?
Yeah. He was with me tonight. I don't know how I did it, but he was there, and Michael helped me. I guess we're even now.
You told Marty Snyder, Dale, you felt lonely on Father's Day, and there were times that you wanted to cry, but you couldn't. Did you cry tonight?
I'll be crying sooner or later. I don't know. I feel so good right now. I'm wore out too.
You know when your dad got his first win at Daytona?
Huh.
His first Winston Cup points win came 11 years ago today, July 7th, 1990.
So special. I dedicate this win to him. I mean, there ain't nobody else that I could dedicate it to, that it would mean more to me. I want to say hey to Teresa back home. I hope she's loving this, because we sure are. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now here comes Steve Park, his teammate who won at Rockingham after we lost Dale Earnhardt here. So the celebration here continues. Let's go to Matt.
And back in February, it was Michael Waltrip pushed to victory lane by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Did you pay back that favor tonight? Was that the game plan, Michael?
I just wanted Dale Jr. to win so bad, and I wanted to be a part of it. I didn't want to finish 10th or 12th. And the Napa Auto Parts Spirit of America hot rod was running, and it was really fast. But I was committed to Dale Jr., just like he was to me in February. And I'll tell you when I really learned a lesson, when I was running third, protecting Dale Jr. and Rusty. And that's what Dale was doing in February. That's a handful. They were all over me, but I stayed committed. I wasn't about to bail out on them. And Dale Jr. called me on Monday morning after Daytona 500, and he said, "I'm there for you, brother." And he was. And I just wanted to be part of it with him.
On top of the car, you two embraced, and then you were talking in each other's ears. What were you saying to each other?
This is what it's all about. We both were so excited about coming to Daytona. This place is a part of our lives, more so than any other place in the world. We weren't more emotional than normal. We were just normal as we can be since we lost our friend. But we were excited about racing, and then to have it end like that, it was cool being on top of the car with Dale Jr., but he's young and they butt heads. I think I'm going to have a headache. Then he dove off the car, and I think I weigh more than everybody on my team, so I didn't want to hurt them or me. So I crept off and cruised over here. Thanks to Klausner Furniture, Ritz Crackers, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, Goodyear Tires, and especially Napa Auto Parts, the greatest sponsor in NASCAR. Thank y'all.
A special night, a special victory for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Alan?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. becomes just the 38th driver in this track's long history to earn the right to go to victory lane and hold a Daytona Winners Trophy. What a drive, what a performance. Final results in the Pepsi 400. Elliott Sadler, outstanding third place run. I don't know where he came from in those last 20 laps.
Mike Wallace will finish in the 11th spot. Dale Jarrett, 13th. Ricky Rudd, 15th. Gained a lot of points on the points leader, Jeff Gordon, tonight.
And let me just mention that Tony Stewart, I told you he never answered the black flag. While he's listed in 6th at the moment, he is under penalty, and NASCAR hasn't determined where his final finishing position is yet. I can assure you it won't be in 6th, though. The celebration will continue long on into the night with that young man, I assure you. What a way to return to Daytona. So much has been made throughout the week of what he would go through having to come here. He's gone through the best he could possibly. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won the Pepsi 400. We'll come back in just a minute. Back at Daytona as the celebration continues in Victory Lane. Time for us to pick the Autotrader.com moves of the race. Can there be any question?
Well, don't move the camera. Just leave it right there at that young man. That's my vote. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I second that one. That was incredible.
Restarted 6th with 6 laps to go and won the race and took the lead with 4 laps to go. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Bobby Labonte has been standing down here, television producing, chatting with crew chief Jimmy Makar. You're really loose. Are you relieved this is over?
Well, yeah, of course we are, you know, and you know, tonight I raced about 8 laps all night long, and that doesn't seem right, does it? But you know, really, you know, it was a great deal for Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip and DEI and all them guys, and that's what it was about here. You know, the racing on my part wasn't much other than, you know, right there at the end, Jimmy and them made a great call for Tony and I to pit. They had that caution, which, you know, anything could happen, and we got track position there, and that's what you needed, because you can't hardly pass sometimes, and you can get boxed in. And with that restart, I was running third there, or running up front, and running second to Junior, and Michael Waltrip got by me. He had a really fast race car, so I slid back to 5th, which is better than I probably should have been tonight. So can't complain too much other than what did I do, you know.
Well, the Pontiacs tonight sure weren't bad race cars. They were just playing good strategy till the end. Marty?
Well, day before tonight, Elliott Sadler's best finish at Daytona was 18th, and I think Alan Bestwick said it best. Where'd you come from anyway?
I don't know, man. I tell you, we had a pretty good call night. Just stuck back in traffic, and right at that last caution, we took on 4 tires. I left pit road, and I beat Michael off pit road, and I pulled over and let him go. I said, boys, he's going to the front. I'm going to follow him. And I just stuck on Michael, and he pulled me right to the front. Man, we finished third. Just a great job for Motorcraft, everybody on Wood Brothers. I can't think of a better night. I'm more excited here and more nervous than I was at Bristol. Congratulate Dale Jr. I can't think of anybody else. I'd rather see win the race. He did a great job. Man, we feel like we won the race, finishing third.
Only his 2nd career top 5. The other one was the win at Bristol. Back upstairs.
Great run for Elliott Sadler. Want to go back and take another look at the situation with Tony Stewart. We talked about the out-of-bounds line, and that if you went below the out-of-bounds line trying to improve your position, you were going to get black flag. So the question is, was Stewart hit from behind? Did he choose to go down to the inside? How did it work?
Well,
this is the restart.
This is the restart, and it happened, I guess, the next lap.
Yeah. So when he comes back around to turn 4, we're going to see him go below the line. Yeah, that's just in turn 1. He goes below the line when they come off of turn 4 back toward the tri-oval. And the question is, was he intentionally trying to improve his position by going down there or not?
I think that someone kind of forced him down there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, but it looked like he moved down there to make some, you know, evasive action there.
So there we see Dale Jr. going by Tony Stewart, and here's Mike Wallace on the inside.
Tony's going to cut low here.
We're coming up on the incident.
Is it this lap or is it the next lap?
Well, I guess it's the next lap.
Well, while we look for that, we'll tell you that what the drivers were told in the pre-race drivers meeting was that if you went down under the line intentionally trying to improve your position, you would be black flagged. Now the question is, in NASCAR's judgment, was he intentionally trying to improve his position when he went downstairs, or was he forced down there to keep from running over somebody? NASCAR's call was he went down there trying to improve his position, so he was put under the black flag. We'll straighten it out after the break. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s won the Pepsi 400. We'll come back to Daytona in a minute. Back at Daytona, where the Pepsi 400 spectators are enjoying a fireworks show on Independence Weekend. Had a little fireworks at the finish of this one, too, involving Tony Stewart. We have found the incident in question now, and we show it to you. This is coming off of turn 4 into the tri-oval, and he's racing Johnny Benson in the 10 car.
Looks like he just gets a really good run on the 10 car. Starts to cut underneath him. 10 car comes down a little bit. Man, that's a tough call, Benny.
It is a tough call, but Tony Stewart clearly was underneath the yellow line. Now, the decision that you've got to make is, did Johnny Benson force him down there, or did he go down there of his own free will?
Yeah, he forced that angle. He sure drove him down there.
Benson kind of ran him down there, and Tony Stewart did not back off the gas. He gets down below the yellow line. NASCAR black flags him.
That's Greg Zipadelli, Tony Stewart's crew chief. The man in the middle is Gary Nelson, the Winston Cup Series director, and the man with his back to you is the team owner, Joe Gibbs.
To me, it looked like if Tony would have got out of the gas there, it would have been a wreck. To avoid getting down there.
Joe's argued with his share of referees in the course of his time.
He's got his hands full there.
Matt Yoakum has more. Matt?
Well, the fireworks do continue down here, Alan. I spoke to Greg Zipadelli, Tony's crew chief, right before Gary Nelson from NASCAR walked up. He said, we know he was forced down there by the 10. We saw it on the video the first time. That's what Tony also told us. But we have to get our point across to NASCAR. We are hoping that we can get some video to show Gary Nelson. And just then, Gary Nelson walked up. The coach, Joe Gibbs, is also pleading the case for the 20 team. Very, very forceful. As you can see, he is talking to Gary Nelson. Gary is listening, but they're hoping to get this resolution here resolved in their favor.
All right. Well, while we wait to find out exactly where it is that Tony Stewart is going to finish in this Pepsi 400, we'll come back around and talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr. What a night. I mean, all of the buildup coming into this, what would it be like coming back to Daytona for the first time since his father lost his life here in that terrible crash on February 18th? Dale Jr. subject to so much speculation, questioning. We ourselves during qualifying the other day wondering what he was thinking and what he was feeling at that point. We know what he's thinking and feeling right now.
Yeah, you know, and he said Bill Weber asked him, did you cry? And he said no. Really, I think that's what he said was no. But I'm not ashamed to tell you, I shed a tear. I mean, that was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in this sport. You know, Bill Weber asked me at a preview show, what's been the most exciting thing the first half of the season? Well, this overshadows anything that might have happened in the first half.
Wally, there are some races along the line that as a driver, if you can't win, you're happy to see somebody else win.
No question. You know, I think there's about 42 other guys that have done exactly the same thing that Michael did. It was so cool to see Michael go up there, return the favor from the Daytona 500, and I'll guarantee you Dale Jr. wanted this race. He may not have been shown it emotionally, but he wanted to win this race badly.
Daytona's always been a place for me of magic, of excitement, a wonderful place to come for an automobile race. When we left here February 18th, it was the darkest I've ever remembered leaving a racetrack. And this does so much for those thousands of spectators, millions of Dale Earnhardt fans who need a piece of closure for Daytona. Maybe the same for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Obviously, not as simple a situation for him, but perhaps this can offer the Dale Earnhardt fans some closure where this racetrack, Daytona, is concerned.
Very well said.
The victory celebration for Dale Earnhardt Jr. after scoring the win in the 43rd Pepsi 400.